Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Frontrunner podcast. We're here to talk all things SA racing. My name is Arlen Kaesler and I'm joined by my co-host, Linc and Moore. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, mate. It's good to be back. Spring isn't far away, so that's the sort of time of year where we get a little spring in our step.
Talking to a few people down the track today. Days are getting longer. It's nice. It's just, it's just starting to feel like spring.
Absolutely, and I think the Behemoth Stakes sort of signals the start of the spring here in SA. It's always, well, it was the Spring Stakes, very well named back then, and also now named after a champion. But it's certainly when we start to see the good horses coming back. There's been big trial fields we've seen over the last couple of weeks, and this is certainly a few nice horses getting around.
Yeah, we'll get stuck into the Group 3 preview a little bit later on, but let's kick off the show with a bit of local news. And I suppose the big news that kind of broke over the last couple of weeks is that we're going to see Lockie Neindorf move over to Melbourne to go, further his career over there. But that means a big opportunity for Jacob Opperman and the Stokes yard. Yeah,
absolutely. It was kind of the follow-up conversation was, I wonder who takes that role, because it's a pretty important position. Obviously, the Stokes stable won the Metro Premiership, so they've got a massive hand here in SA, and they would have wanted someone pretty senior and I guess talented to be filling that void. So no surprise that Jacob's accepted that opportunity. It's certainly a good one, and he was a name we threw around, but it was like, how's that going to fit in with obviously based at Murray Bridge, so obviously be in town a couple of days a week, and great opportunity for a good rider.
Yeah, and the market that dropped early on for, I suppose, the new Metro Premiership winner, Rochelle and Jake kind of went up favourites, and Jacob started about $15, and he quickly was shaved into about $7 once the news broke about him taking on that nice job with Stokes.
It's a funny area to bet, I reckon, premierships. I think we've seen an avalanche for Nunez the moment he was announced here last season, and that didn't quite unfold as you'd hoped. No surprise that the $15 was snapped up, because as we know, he's going to get a lot of good rides with the way the Stokes stables are able to bring their horses back and forth.
And he finished the season last year really well too, so riding in good form is Jacob Opperman. On to something else. It's the Apprentice Academy intake. We had that yesterday, and at the Apprentice Academy, just not too far from Morphettville, and we got 3 new riders we're welcoming into the SA ranks.
Absolutely, yeah, all come through the Pathways program run by Claire Lindop, which is great to see. Yeah, there'll be 3 new faces at the trials. I think a couple even road trials on Monday. So it's it's always an exciting time to see the next generation of riders come through. And as we've seen on the weekend, we're probably the front runner, aptly named front runner when it comes to apprentices. But with the way our academy's seen across, I guess not only Australia but Hong Kong, we've got a great association there. And we had an apprentice kick-off last weekend. Talia Hardy, she rides a double at her first day of race riding. So it's a very successful operation there, and we wish the 3 new riders all the best.
And another apprentice going great guns is Matthew Chadwick. Rode a double on the first day of the season, so he sits atop of the tree of the Metro standings there, which is a great start for Matt, who finished last season off as well in good form. Yeah,
absolutely. I guess he had a bit of a stop-start time here when he made SA home, and he's found his groove. He's getting some good opportunities, which is great to see, and he's certainly riding well. So he's leading the premiership, and I think he's equal with Jake. But good luck to him going forward. He's going to be, I reckon, in demand, because he's got the right claim, and he's a pretty good rider.
Yeah, indeed. Speaking of Jake, and I suppose a bit more loosely, the Jolly Yard, Lewis Winmore has just been an absolute beast over in Melbourne since moving across there, and just loves the Flemington Straight. Want to get on the weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. He's 3 Flemington victories this campaign. He's been, I guess, probably the perfect horse that what Rich and Chantel wanted when they, took that Melbourne stable. Was it April?
Yep.
That horse has been able to, flying over there. And as Richard sort of said after that race, look for an early spring feature where he can drop significantly in weight. He's going to be certainly in the mix. He's doing everything they require over there, and that's just keep putting their name out there in the lights.
And that those horses that love the straight are always, good to follow, because some horses don't always handle the straight. So if you've got one that does handle that, that's a big tick for your stable going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you just need a flagship horse, and we touched on the news, Sabage leaving their stable. He was probably the one that they thought it was going to be, but now it's Lewis Winmore, and they're they just got the balance right, and I guess it's like the reverse of what Stokesy does with his. It's being able to find the right races, get them over there at the right time, and you can sustain preps from Melbourne, which is a lot harder to do when you got to travel back and forth.
And totally. And another of their former runners in See You in Heaven, actually a 2-time Behemoth Stakes winner, has moved across to Matt Laurie following being sold. I think it was for about $1 million she went for. So she might have her first start for the new stable there.
Yeah, it was. I was sort of surprised. I thought originally when they sold her, it was purely breeding, which sounds that's still going to happen. But Matt Laurie, obviously, she jumped out alongside the gun stablemate Treasury at the moment today, and I think there's a couple of races that they'll look at before she does end up in the breeding barn. But one to watch for sure. She's had them feet issues across her journey, so. Be interesting to see what Matt can do with her.
Beautifully summed up there, mate. That's a lovely little news wrap, and let's get stuck into the rest of the show. It's time to have a look at the Dare to Dream Horse of the Week, and in honour of Ole Kirk being named Australia's leading first season sire, we thought it'd be apt to have a look at a few of the horses out of Ole Kirk on the Dare to Dream website, Linc, and it's a horse that we've come to know pretty well over here in SA. We had Ole Dancer win the Magic Millions 2-year-old classic at Murray Bridge and then gone on to winning Caulfield since. And Legacy Bound is the big one out of Ole Kirk. He absolutely brained them in the Group 3 Breeders' Stakes, beating Steel Trap here earlier in the year. Other horses like King Kirk and Prestige Forever are also stakes winners across the border. Obviously a sire that's had a really good start to his career.
Absolutely. It's it's a big effort to be crowned best first season sire, but it's certainly a sire in demand, can throw the good young horses. He's one of these stallions that I think he only had 12 starts, but had enormous talent, and he's certainly taking that to the breeding barn. So, yeah, interesting that I feel like there's going to be a bit more of a buzz about him going forward because he's obviously, had an amazing first season. Yeah,
definitely. And it is your chance to get involved in some progeny from one of Australia's most exciting sides. There's two horses out of Ole Kirk listed on the Dare to Dream website. We've got a 3-year-old gelding out of Ole Kirk and Kryptolon. He's being trained by the Alexander brothers out of their Murray Bridge stables there. They're obviously Group 1 winning trainers back in their homeland of South Africa, and Kryptolon was a stakes winner in Queensland.
Yeah, it's certainly a good opportunity there. But the second one probably caught my eye a little bit more.
Yeah, the 2-year-old filly with Sue and Jason Yench out of a mare named Danish Bingo. Danish Bingo produced a horse named Brave Halo who ran 4th in the Blue Diamond, and we know the Yenches are going very well with, Sir Sway, etc.
Absolutely, yeah. Brave Halo brought back a few memories. I had a friend point him out when he was flying in Perth before he came across the Blue Diamond. I don't know what happened because he obviously passed away, that horse, but certainly had a lot of potential. So, it'd be interesting to see what the Yenches can do with it. I'd love to find another Sir Sway, that's for sure.
Definitely. Well, head to daretodream.com.au. There's over 60 horses on offer at the moment there, but obviously the 2 out of Ole Kirk there, and plenty of good ownership opportunities as well. So head to daretodream.com.au. Our guest today is bringing across one of the more fancy runners for Saturday's Group 3 Behemoth Stakes. Is It Me has won its last year on the trot. It's first up on Saturday, and we welcome in its trainer, Dan Bowman. How you doing, Dan?
Good, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Tell us about Is It Me, mate? When did you identify this race as his kickoff? Obviously, he finished his prep flying. You must be pretty happy with what he achieved last time in, but when did you identify Adelaide as a kickoff?
Yeah, last prep was great. He just went through his grades nicely, topped it off with a dominant Group 3 win at Flemington. And we sort of worked out last prep that he just really needs 3 or 4 weeks between runs. We tried a couple of times that fortnight turnaround, and he just doesn't back up. He just throws a bit too much into his races and leaves him a touch flat. So we sat to work out a program back from the Rupert Clark, and this fitted in nicely. There's nothing at Moonee Valley for him this weekend, and if he kicks off this weekend in Adelaide in a nice weight for age race, the trip away is great. It'll help him tighten up fitness-wise as well. Then he can sort of go 3 weeks into the Memsey and 3 weeks into the Rupert Clark, hopefully.
The big question is for Saturday, looking ahead, is 1,200 a bit short of his pet trip, or is he here to win on Saturday?
It probably is, but, class will take him a long way. You look at first up last prep, I think he ran 3rd or 4th at Caulfield and was probably a bit unlucky not to finish closer to Nadal. I think if Nadal was in the Behemoth on Saturday, he'd be Winx odds. He probably lacks the sharpness, but I would be surprised to see him getting out and rattling home and running in the first 2 or 3, just whether he's sharp enough for those, natural 1,200 metre horses.
It's been a good horses race over the journey, but this does look probably a gettable edition of the Spring Stakes or Behemoth Stakes this year, you'd have to think when you look at it on paper.
Yeah, for sure. Recommendation had a really good purple patch maybe 12 or 18 months ago. He's probably battling for form. Potentially he hasn't come back up since Hong Kong. Will Clarken's mare now, it's a big jump to go from that Lightning Stakes against 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds to wait for age open company. Always got respect for Q-Man, being an Oakley Plate winner. You got to have respect for him. But whether it's a bit long, 100 metres too long for him first up potentially. But it's a nice race. I'd say there might be a couple of scratchings. There's a few dual accepted in Melbourne, and a few down in the ratings that might have a look at it and say this might be a bit strong, wait another week.
And Rupert Clark's obviously the goal, a race that you've won in the past with Be Good to Your Mother. Obviously good memories winning that race, and obviously is the horse profiling as a horse that can win the race as you know what it takes.
Yeah, I think you can. I'd love the race to be at Flemington. I would love a 1,400 metre Group 1 at Flemington. I think there's 4 at Caulfield, which you sort of scratch your head as a Victorian. But it's the right race for him, 1,400 handicap, fast speed on. He's the perfect horse for it. His rating's right in the right pocket for it at the minute to be down in the weights. And I always sort of find that if you run your horse in the Memsey 3 weeks before and they can sort of get within 2 or 3 lengths of the winner of that, it's a good form line to go back to handicap 3 weeks later. So yeah, that's sort of the early plan for the spring and see where we go from there. It's
good to have a horse like him, a progressive horse coming through this race, that's for sure. So we, I guess, wish you all the best on Saturday, mates. And obviously, as the spring progresses, we appreciate you taking some time to jump on Frontrunner.
No worries, guys. Thank you.
All right, it's time to look at Saturday's Group 3 Behemoth Stakes. It's a weight for age contest over 1,200 metres. The race was formerly known as the Spring Stakes and was renamed a couple years ago in honour of 2-time winner Behemoth. And I tell you what, it's been a good horses race over the years with an honour roll including the likes of Dalasan, Happy Trails, Rebel Raider and of course Behemoth. Now let's get into some of the stats that matter ahead of Saturday. Pays to be a jolly. Richard and Chantel or David have won the last 5 editions of this race. Lucky for all the competitors this week, there's no jollies involved, but that is some feat that the Jolly family have there.
Absolutely. Talk about a mortgage on something.
Totally. 6 of the last 7 winners have been first up. Barrier 9 or 10 have produced 5 of the last 8 winners. And favourites have won 5 of the last 10 editions. So, New Zealand like that, let's unpack some of the key runners in this race. And we'll start off with Is It Me? We just spoke to Dan Bowman there. Horses won 3 on the trot for him before a spell, including that Group 3 victory across at Flemington over the 1,400 metres. Billy Egan comes across to ride, who was on board for each of those 3 victories. Got to think that horse is a big shot here, Linc.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially I like the confidence in Dan. And I think the only thing he probably needs is a genuine tempo, and I reckon he'll get it.
Yeah. Last start winner, Lingani, Peter and Belinda Blanche and the whole stable will be doing a rain dance this week. She came out and absolutely blew away her rivals by 7 lengths on a heavy deck last week. But you probably got to think that the weather's going to have a big factor in Lingani's chances.
Yeah, the weather's going to be, key to a couple. As you said, the Blanches would be praying for rain with Lingani because she obviously swims, whereas one of the other fancied run is Q-Man. First run back, that's the absolute opposite to what they'll want for him because he's a horse that's much better on top of the ground and they wouldn't want to flatten him first up.
Yeah, he is. Let's have a quick listen to what Shane Oxlade has to say about Q-Man.
Q-Man in Saturday. Unfortunately, we missed a run a fortnight ago. Terrible, heavy, wet track. Looks like being a better track this week. Weight for age, gets in quite good at the weights. Probably the downside is the 1,200 first up. Had quite a few trials and jump outs. We'll all be hoping that he's done enough and think he can run a nice race.
Yeah, excited to see him come back. Obviously scratched a couple of weeks ago on that heavy track, but looks nicely weighted here and does have a good fresh record.
He'll go fast. He'll be in it for a long way, and he's certainly going to give him something to chase.
It's been a year since Recommendation has won a race, but he's run really well at Group 3 level. His past 2 starts behind Bridal Waltz and In Flight, and as you kind of say, if either of those two horses in this race, they'd be really, really short odds.
Yeah, I think it's pretty savvy placement by the Mars stable. They've clearly, I guess, seen he's not the horse he was 12 months ago when he was airborne, and whether that Hong Kong trip took it out of him. But look, if he's ever going to get back to winning a Group 3, this is probably like he's hard fit. He's got the right jockey and Jake Toroke and a good gate.
Yeah, totally. Let's have a quick listen to what Will Clarkins had to say about his two runners. He's got Sakala and 16 Reasons in on Saturday.
Two entries on Saturday for the Behemoth Stakes, formerly the Spring Stakes, and the kick-off point for the Spring Carnival. Shikala was dominant last start in the Lightning Stakes. Through the line, she was fantastic on a very heavy track. She's trained on well. She's obviously going to take on an older opposition and a good lineup of horses. It's going to be a really even, open race, I think, and she'll be hitting the line strongly first time in 6 furlongs. 16 Reasons was terrific at Caulfield first up, and she was okay last start when there was a deluge of rain during the event. I think that could have put her off her game a little bit with a bit of kickback and surface water, and I think she'll improve on Saturday. Lingani absolutely toyed with her last start, so hopefully she can turn the tables.
Yeah, look, obviously, Linc, that undefeated Sakala has a massive amount of upside. Listed winner last start. Obviously, definitely her toughest test against some really good season quality horses.
Yeah, I think you're right. She's got a bit of an X factor about her, and I think they certainly haven't got to the bottom of her. So really interesting to see what she can do here against, as you said, some seasoned horses and some hard fit horses.
And Will did seem to think there was excuses for 16 Reasons, who did run really well at Flemington a couple of starts ago. So
yeah, absolutely. Never looked entirely comfortable on that really heavy track. Probably the opposite of the stablemate, who would like a bit of rain, I think.
Totally. Now, run us through selections for the Group 3 feature.
Yeah, look, I think recommendations here to win. Early, I've got him on top, but I'm a little bit sort of leaning to Is It Me now. I do like the fact that they will go quick. We know Cumin, look, if the bomb get it right, the weather's going to be fine from now till Saturday, so he'll run. He'll be out in front, and we know he only knows one way, and that's to free roll. So, Is It Me will get the tempo that he needs. I think recommendation or box seat. So they're the two that are going to be fighting it out. I think Cumin, as I said, will be there for a long way, and yeah, you've just got to respect what Sakala's done. You can sense the stable really like her. They've got they're one of the cleverest stables in the state, and she's done everything she's been asked of. So you can't ask for much more.
All right, it is best bets time, Linc. I think you got 3 for us this week. Kick off with race 2, Savon Ice.
Yeah, look, this horse is flying for Daryl Carrison. Absolutely belted rivals on that really wet track last start. I think it was an 8 or 9 length win, which you don't see very often on a Saturday. So, look, he's been a bit of a slow burn, this horse. And funnily enough, we didn't see many feature race nominations earlier this week. I kind of expected we might have seen Gold Rush Guru nominated for the Caulfield Cup. He wasn't. Savon Ice, again, nominated for the Cox Plate.
But for the Cox Plate.
Yeah, look, he's a talented horse, and I feel like it's just all coming together for him now. He's won his past 3 in the Metro grade, and look, draws out Todd Panel, booked to ride now, another big tick, and I think there's a lot to like about the way this horse is going, so I'm pretty keen on Savon Ice on Saturday.
Very, very nice. Race 3 comes your next bet.
Yeah, Gin Spirit, a horse we've seen the Hayes boys sneak over the border and strike with last season, won the Cinderella Stakes. She's a talented filly. They again booked Rochelle Milnes early to take a kilo and a half off, which I think is ideal for this horse. Had a Caulfield jump out the other day. I had a bit of a look back, and she didn't do an enormous amount of work in that, but that might have been just there to just get her to relax again and know that she's coming over here, and she'll be very hard to beat, because I think she's got above average ability, which we've seen, and if everything goes well, I think Gin Spirit will be too good for that group of horses on Saturday.
And we just know that the Hayes boys place these horses perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been picking the right races to bring their horses across, and they went 2 or 3 features last season, and wouldn't shock me if Gin Spirit's here to win on the weekend.
And one in the Get Out Stakes, race 9.
Yeah, this is a horse I think we'll see a bit of going forward over the next few months. I think it's got above average ability. Major Rumble, trained by Glenn Kent and Wayne Francis down there at Finnis. Was very good winning a maiden at Murray Bridge, and then they thought enough of the horse to throw it into that Lightning Stakes won by Sakala. So I guess that's a good pointer about his ability. His mother was a pretty talented galloper, and I think I heard Glenn in an interview say that every jockey that gets on this horse says he covers ground easily, does it all very natural, and I think back to what looks a very, very suitable race coming out of listed grade. I think Major Rumble will be very hard to beat in the last. If he doesn't win, I don't know what wins that last race, because I think there was 7 last start winners in it. And yeah, I just feel like he's got a bit of an X factor about him. So Major Rumble, race 9, number 12.
Very nice. Seven Ice, race 2, number 3. Gin Spirit, race 3, number 1. And Major Rumble, race 9, number 12. Well done, Linc, on a great show. Just a reminder that we've got our trainers showcase thanks to daretodream.com.au this Saturday at Morphettville. If you want to learn more about ownership, have a chat to some local trainers, please jump on our social media, have a look at the links, and RSVP to this weekend's event. Should be really good. Got 5 great trainers coming along, so you can pick their brains about everything ownership, and that's what it's all about. Dare to Dream, getting involved, and who knows, you might have a Sav on Ice running on Saturday, and then potentially the Cox Plate.
Free finger food. I throw there'll be a few people taking
That's what's getting you involved, yeah.
Yeah, well, I haven't said yes yet. I better tick the RSVP. But no, it's as you said, great opportunity to get down there and talk to some trainers. They're very open at these events about, what they've got in their books, and it's a good way to, I guess, break the door down to ownership.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, big Saturday ahead with the Group 3 Behemoth Stakes. We're looking forward to that, and the smell of spring's in the air.
Yeah, it won't be long, and we'll be thinking about country cups and even big cups.
Yeah, big time. All right, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week.